onboarding a client can always be a hectic thing to do. And when it's your first client, it gets scarier. And I got scared as well when it came to onboarding my very first client. Hello, I am Jan and I am an international business student here in Finland. And here I'm trying to build a business of my own. So for the context, my business ArcInfini, I have registered the business and now I have onboarded my first ever client to whom I will be delivering the AI powered marketing services. So enough with the context. Now let's straight dive into the sauce. So when it comes to onboarding a client for a service-based business like mine, there is a lot of aspects that one should think about. For example, client handouts, service agreement. And by the way, this client of mine, they demanded a wet signature, meaning they wanted to sign on a piece of document physically. So I had to figure that out as well. And I figured out all of these by using AI tools like ChatGPT. So in this video, we are gonna talk about how I did it step by step. And I will try to share all the prompts that I use for making this possible at a very rapid pace. And trust me on this, you don't need a whole week to onboard one client. You can do it in 2 days. Okay, let's start with the first step. The first step is quite simple. You just have to ask the robot. For this, I would suggest you make a custom GPT or a project in ChatGPT. Or if you're using some other AI tools like Claude or Google Gemini, the process is almost the same. I am suggesting that you should make a custom GPT or a project because when it comes to things like this or business purposes, the more context and information that you give the AI, the better the result would be. So when it comes to creating custom GPTs or projects, at first you need to come to your preferred AI platform. The process is kind of similar, or you can find a lot of tutorials on YouTube on these. So you come here. Now we will be trying a new custom GPT because I prefer that over projects all the time because maybe it gives a better output if you prompt it properly. So here we can see, we can put the name of the custom GPT and the description of it. So this is the part which I like the most. In instruction section, we brain dump everything that we have about the project, about client you're working for. Whatever you're working on right now, you brain dump as much information as possible into this section. This will help the AI to understand the problem at hand and behave accordingly. There are a lot of tutorials on YouTube on how you can optimize the instructions. This is basically a system prompt for your custom GPT. If you want to know more about those, hit me up in the comments and I will try my best to make a video on that. So I'm not gonna put anything. I'm not gonna create a new GPT because I already have one. For my own company, I made a custom GPT with all the instructions, all the knowledge, all the service information, everything into that instruction section. And by putting all those information, I have created the perfect version of ChatGPT for my own business. And I call it ArcInfini Strategist, if you can see it on the screen. So I come here whenever I have a problem or I wanna develop some kind of documents for my clients or I want to onboard a client, I always come here and ask the robot from here. Because with all the knowledge base that ChatGPT has, I have just augmented it with my company's own information and my own set of goals and all the instructions. So now it is more personalized towards my needs. So we click on it and open a new chat and we just start our conversation with the robot. So now let's talk about step 2. For me personally, I like to start with the SOP. SOP stands for Standard Operation Procedure. So this document explains all the processes and services which we will be providing to our client. And as the AI has all the information and knowledge about the services that we will be providing in the custom GPT instruction itself, from here it's quite simple. We have to maintain a very conversational discussion with the AI, what we want and what we don't want. Because the AI doesn't have context and knowledge about my client. So I tried my best to brain dump all the information that I had about my client, their expectation, their goals, everything, and what kind of business it is, and everything in the chat itself, so that the AI has complete knowledge about the client's business. It's very crucial to do. For that, I use prompts like this, where I told the robot that I will be giving some information about my client. Okay, it followed up with an answer. Then after that, I gave another detailed description of my client's business. Then I asked, what does it know about SOPs? Then it gave me the whole answer that it knows about SOPs. After that, it gave me all the things that it needs from me to craft the perfect SOP. So I just copied everything, and it knows what are the services that I'll be providing to my client. It's that simple. Everything is done under like 10 minutes maybe. So after getting everything from here, I can just copy paste everything into a Google Doc. Or you can always ask the AI to craft you a PDF for the finished outcome. For me, it was the SOP. Okay, now let's talk about step 3. Step 3 is quite simple, I guess, and I believe this is the easiest step. I didn't use much AI help in this step because it's quite straightforward for me. So I took a piece of paper and I started writing down what are the things that I need from my client to deliver my services. For this specific client, I needed access to their Meta Business Suite and Ads Manager. And then I needed access to their TikTok platform. And for SEO and Google optimization, I asked for their Google My Business account access and Google Analytics access. So I made a whole list about that, and I just sent that list to my client. Because they don't know a lot of technicality about these things, this was a bit time consuming, I would say, because I had to sit down with the client to get all the access. But yeah, it works like that when we are providing services to small businesses. Now let's talk about step 4. Making the service agreement is kind of similar to making the SOP. So we go to that same custom GPT that we made and we start another conversation. So making the service agreement itself is kind of similar to making the SOP. Because the custom GPT already have all the information, just have to put all the information about my client that I put in the SOP. So it's quite easy to do that. We can just copy paste everything from there to here, and then we can start the conversation with what we need, how we need it. And the whole process is quite similar. And I also added that I need a privacy policy PDF. And then we try to answer everything in as much detail as possible. And after that, magic will happen and you will get the perfect service agreement made by ChatGPT in under 10 minutes. Again, it's so amazing. Pro tip I would suggest, do not put any kind of sensitive information regarding your client or regarding your business. For example, the business ID and contact information, banking details, everything. Just give the AI instructions that leave those spaces as placeholders. In that way, you don't have to give any sensitive information to the AI, which is very important. So here we can see we have the draft for the whole service agreement and it has multiple drafts. Okay, so as I asked the AI to give me a package, so it gave me some drafts for the service agreement itself. Then it gave me some drafts for privacy policy for ArcInfini and how we will be processing data from our client and how we will be processing data from the client's customers. These are very important here in Europe, so we have to keep these in mind when it comes to making contracts, SOPs, and signing agreements. All of these documents needed a bit of personal touch and a bit of tweaking. After that, everything was ready in an hour. And the only thing remaining was to print the document and get a wet signature on the documents, which took some time because my client he is a busy man. But it took like 2-3 days to sit down with him and get the signature on the document. This was a mistake from my end that I could have like discussed when I had the first meeting with my client, and I was asking what kind of agreement that they would like, and I didn't mention anything about e-signature or something like that. But from next time, we will keep that in mind. Okay, so what did we achieve with this? The time of onboarding was compressed from open-ended to 2 to 3 days maximum. And as this is my first time, I don't have much experience in this, but still I had to face very few surprises. So that's a plus point. For the lessons and mistakes from my end, is one thing I would love to fix, that during our first meeting, I should have told that we could sign the document through a e-signature platform. And that would speed up the process even more. If you like this video, then I'm sure you will like this video where I share how I got started with AI. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Till then, peace.